Hello, beautiful souls. So if you don't have ESPN Plus, it may be worth your time to get it for just a month to watch the Reggie White documentary. And not just because of the amazing, incredible football player that he was, but because you are witnessing the beautiful display of someone deconstructing their faith. Watch this video and then we'll talk about it.
And that's that hump move where he gets his right arm in and just pulls the guy.
It's a mismatch. A wide receiver, Chris Carter, trying to block Reggie White.
Reggie saw it and just gave him that Howie Long hump move. And when you get Reggie White one-on-one, Reggie White's going to come out a winner.
Reggie White getting a good push. Look at the push he got on Lawrence that time.
The backs are split. So are the receivers. Hostetler takes his drop. He starts to run. Reggie White gets him.
I think so many people are going to come away from that 30 for 30 documentary and just be in awe of Reggie White and his amazing football legacy. But for those of us who are deconstructing, his story is so powerful. And I'm using the word deconstructing because that's what we know here. I always said untangling from my religious heritage that no longer serves my highest good. His son calls it a growth mindset because that's really what deconstructing is. And for Reggie, what happened is when he decided he wanted to go back and learn the original Hebrew, that is when he started to ask questions and ask, as his son said, what else do I not know? And based on that, he says things like, I got convinced, this is Reggie, I'm quoting Reggie from the documentary, I got convinced by many in the public, particularly in the church, that this is what God wanted me to do and that football would be a good way to get this message out. So in other words, there were people behind the scenes, sounds like evangelical leaders, who were using him to evangelize this message because his message was incredibly problematic. It not only was racist and sexist, it was homophobic. A lot of homophobic statements. Where he just flat out said they not only don't deserve rights, that their, quote, lifestyle is a decision that doesn't deserve to be protected. So, but what happened is, as he deconstructed, because he was studying the original Hebrew, this is when he started to he started to say things like, I came to the realization that God didn't need me for football to evangelize. What he needed more than anything was the way I was living, to look at the way I was living instead of the things I was saying. This is Reggie, quote, when I look back on my life, I realized there are things that I said that I realized God wasn't saying it to me. It's what Reggie wanted to do. And so he was rethinking a lot of things. Here's one more thing that he said, and then I hope you really will go look at this, because I think it can be inspiring for those of you who are deconstructing. He said, some things that have been taught to me based on how we believed what we wanted to believe, what the preachers were telling us to believe, but the Hebrew scriptures told me something different. What does that show you, beautiful souls? When you start paying attention, when you are no longer spoon-fed, then you start to see things for yourself. Your eyes are starting to open up. Here's one more thing that he said. Quote, the church leaders have used fear tactics to keep people under control. We tell people if you don't do this, the devil is going to get you. And people are doing things out of fear. End quote. I have one more thing up here that he said. He said, in many ways, I've been prostituted. 30 for 30 on ESPN Plus. The legacy of Reggie White, but the deconstruction of Reggie White is something that you need to see. Because when you start taking charge of your own faith journey, and your own spirituality, when you reclaim it from those who are spoon-feeding you from the pulpit, that's where the healing begins, and that's where you reclaim your spirituality. I hope you watch it.